Hello! Sometimes we need to do things that are super quick because we don't have a lot of time. And in this week's Friday Art, that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to show you how to make beautiful individual little tags that can be used to attach to presents or to hang up on their own little decorations, because they're so cute and they're so pretty, and you've probably got everything around you already, so you don't need to buy anything, which is always a good thing. Welcome to Friday Art with me, Cate Field, artist, teacher and speaker, passionate about helping you find your creative spirit and then develop it a little bit further, even with something as simple as a little tag. And I've just seen that we've got Monty in the background. Oh, there he is. My old boy. He's good. He's kind of stopped going in the box, which was a good thing because I was keeping stuff in the box. But I really hope you're well, and welcome if you are new. And before anything else, thank you. Thank you so much for all your lovely birthday messages. Thank you. I feel quite touched. So yes, anyway, and happy Thanksgiving for yesterday to all my American friends. And enough of that, let's go. I really love making little tags. I think they can be really effective. They're very simple, very easy to make, and they're quick as well, which is good because, oh my goodness, this week has been bonkers. Now, I've also been doing an awful lot of things with very bright colours, very vibrant, my neons, which I love. But I thought for this one, I'm going to go a little bit neutral, a little bit vintage. I've got so many bits and pieces. I've just kind of gone through some of my stash box. But I've also found some magazines as well, and I've got some sheet music. But I've also got this paper that I got from an old computing book from the 1990s, I think. But the paper is really lovely, but it's not quite the right colour. So the first thing I'm going to do is to prepare some paper, and then we're going to do some collage and create our tags. So I'm going to be using some acrylic paint. I'm using sort of browns, creams, white, a bit of yellow ochre, bit of black, and a little sponge. You could use a soft brush, something like that. Don't have to use acrylic, you could use poster paint. That would work really well. I like this paper, I like the text, and it's nice and thin. I'm not going to add any water at all, and I'm not going to think about this too much because I just want to do this really quickly. So I'm just kind of mixing up a few bits. Just going to pop it onto the page. And I know I'm going to get really mucky because I'm in one of those kind of very mucky moods at the minute. So some of this paper is going to be quite dark, like this one. Just gliding it over. I like using a sponge because it's quick. It's really, I am going to get mucky. I know I am. Just putting it over here. I'm not adding any water, so we know that this will dry very quickly, which means we can use it. Now you can also stain your paper with inks or with tea or coffee, yeah, that kind of thing. That works really well. Right, this one is going to be paler. Just added some white. Haven't cleaned the sponge, that's fine. Add a little bit of black there, just because all of this is going to be trimmed up anyway. I've just got a little, just going to take a bit of that black off. I like to have a whole collection of papers that I can use for collage, but over the last couple of months really I've been doing quite a lot of collage art, so I've used a lot up. So it's quite nice to do a bit like this. So yeah, there's these ones. Just going to hang those up to dry. Let's move on to this one. Again, let's have this as a kind of a more grey. Obviously, you can use whatever colours you want. So if the neutral vibe is not doing it for you and you want to go neon pink, you do that. You go neon. Because the technique is the same. I like working really quickly on these because I think if you think about it too much, you can just overwork things and it doesn't work at all. Again, just putting it to one side. Pick up a bit of that yellow ochre, a bit of the white, scraping it across the page. The thing with neutrals is that you can add other colours to it, which is why, you know, a lot of people will have neutral decor in their homes, and I do. I have kind of very pale blue, almost sort of grey, dove grey walls in a lot of my house, and then I have bright pink sofa. Things like that. So you can do that. Yeah, it's entirely up to you. But I am just creating probably half a dozen of these papers, and as you can see, really quick, not thinking about it too much. I'm going to leave those to dry, and while I'm leaving them to dry, I'm going to show you the next thing. So the next one we're going to do is this little tag. These are just my washi tapes. I don't use them that often, and they're in a lovely box. I thought, oh, you know, I can use them. Now I'm using a template of a tag that I got from the post office, but this is just cardstock. And the next one I'm going to show you after this one is just using a bit of cardstock and then cutting it up to whatever size you want. But I just think that, you know, if you've got these lying around, this is quite a good size. Use it. I'm just putting this on a tray because it just makes it easier. You could put it onto a bit of plastic. And I'm just going to start layering it up. It's just like the easiest thing ever, isn't it? I'm just going to put in a few of the same one, like this. Then I'm going to get another one and put that on there. So if you haven't got washi tape, then you could use strips of wrapping paper. That would be lovely. Yeah, some of these are just going to be overlapping, and that's okay because it's just going to form a background. Again, I'm all for doing things sometimes that are quick and easy, because it has it's been very busy. Lots of things happening. Yeah, thank you for your lovely comments. Like I said earlier, thank you for all those birthday wishes. Oh my goodness, I was a bit blown away by all of that. Amazing. How kind you all are. If you haven't joined the Facebook group yet, and that's something that you think you'd like to do, so friendly, such a friendly place. The link is in the description. Anyway, so that's that. Fold that over. And then what I'm just going to do now is to just tuck all of these bits in, like that. Again, I know that a lot of you do things with your children, your grandchildren, and this is something that's very easy to do. It's not too messy, and it's fun. Let's just putting that there, folding that one down like that. So we've got that one. So we've got a lovely background. And there's a bit of kind of shine on this as well. Now on this one, I did some triangles like I did in my last tutorial to make a tree, and I'm going to do something similar with this one. But I've got this bit of collage paper and I've got this owl, so I'm going to do something with the owl. So I'm just going to cut that bit there. Let's just let's have an owl, because that's quite lovely. There we go. Of course, you might not be watching this in at the end of November. You might be watching it in March or something. But you can make these tags anytime, I think, because they're lovely. And again, it's that kind of personalised gift, isn't it? That's kind of doing its own thing there. I'm just going to pop that little owl. I'm going to put him like that. Just going to clean this up a bit. It's just got very, very sticky. There we go. I'm going to do a couple of other bits on this as well, but let's turn this round. And this time I'm going to do the tape going the other way, and I'm just going to just do this. Yeah, you don't have to be too precise on this, yeah, because it's the effect is just so lovely. Yeah, it works very well, yeah, whether you're using tape or whether you're using strips of paper. I'm just going to do that, tidy that bit up afterwards. You can mix and match. Just kind of put them like this. I'm going over the hole because I'm going to do a hole punch on it. Now where I've got these edges, I'm just going to trim those. Just going to trim them up like that. Nice and easy. And I have got a single hole punch, but you could, yeah, if you've just got an ordinary hole punch, that will work. Just have to sort of line it up. There it is. So that's the start, and you can add other bits to it. So like with this one, I put a bit of music. Yeah, I haven't done anything on the back yet. Just found some odd bits of collage that I really liked. And then I like to use string, just ordinary brown package string. I think that works really well. But you could use ribbons or something like that. So what if you haven't got a label? A bit of cardboard, not too thick, so it's very easy to cut with scissors. And what we're going to do is to put some collage over the top of this, and then we're going to cut it out. So it's going to be a slightly different feel. I'm just going to use a glue stick. You could use Elmer's glue, white glue, PVA glue. You could use double-sided tape if you wanted to. That's a bit scrappy, that edge. I'm just going to layer this on. I'm going to do some of my sheet music. Again, I really do like collage because when you start to put different textured paper and different patterns with slightly different colours on, you do get some really interesting patterns and shapes, and I really like that. So again, I'm just going to be just covering this bit of cardboard. This is all odd bits and pieces that I've collected over the years. It's every so often I have a really good clear out, because I do kind of forget what I have. Am I the only one who does that? Or I expect you are all super organised, aren't you? I'm sure you are. Let's do that. Just put like this. You can see it's all a little bit haphazard, and that's okay. It's going to be fine. Now, because I want these tags to be reversible, we're going to do the other side as well, but it's going to be in exactly the same way and using the same sorts of colours. So I'm just going to put on a bit of music, I think, and I'll just happily do the other side, and I'll see you in a moment. So my painted papers are all dry, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my ruler, and I'm just going to tear some strips. Again, it's I'm not thinking about it too much. So I'm going to be using these as collage papers. I'm just tearing them. It doesn't matter if they don't tear straight. I can have a whole collection like that. So let's just do this one. Again, the technique is the technique. So you can just adapt this to a whole load of things. Really, I'm just chopping these up. Now I'm just going to use a bit of cardstock here and create another label. And again, what I'm going to do is to use these pieces. I'm just going to sort of move them about, lay them up, tear some more. So it would be just a mixture of these colours on the paper. Just stick it on that side, turn it over, stick it on that side, and then we'll be ready to cut out our tags. Well, I did quite a few in the end. So I used some of my papers with the acrylic paint on it, and I've kind of combined it, and you can see that they've all got this neutral colour. I'd kind of put some other bits that I found, put them all together. So what we're going to do now is to cut out the tags, and what I suggest is that you use a tag as a template, but of course your tags can be whatever size you want. So kind of I'm looking at this piece of card which I'm really liking, and I'm just thinking, I wonder how many I could get out of this piece of card, and I think I'm going to get quite a lot actually. So I'm just going to use a cutting mat. I've got my cutting mat, and I'm going to make just a few just tidying up of the edges like this. Oh, I think I might need a new blade soon. Like that. You could use scissors as well, couldn't you? That's fine. Just tidy up that edge a little bit. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to get one of my tags. I did put a little button on my owl, so it's going to be about there. So I'm just going to place. Let's just do this one here. Just going to draw down that. And obviously with this one I did the back as well, so I'm going to have the back and the front. And this could be a little tag all on its own actually. That will work. So I'm just going to line that up a little bit. I'm going to make it a little bit shorter than that one. So that's this is the idea, is you're going to use your collage pieces to make your tags, and then you're going to cut your corners off. I'm just going to use my mat as a guide, then I know that they're going to be square. Or you could just line them up like this as well, couldn't you? So I'm just going to do a few of those. I'm going to cut out these ones. Again, it's, you know, we can just have thin ones. They can be whatever you want. And this is this is again the joy of making things yourself, is that they be totally unique to you. Nobody else will have one like it. And I love things like that. Now, if you've watched any of my earlier tutorials, you'll know that I love making my own elements, and this is something else that you could do. So I'm thinking those little mushroom and toadstool elements that I made the other week would be quite fun. Do quite like the idea of a woodland theme for one of my Christmas trees. I think I'm going down that route at the moment. And I've got some lovely pine cones and bits of twigs that I found in my woodland. So I'm liking these. These are good. So you can see where we're going with these. I'm going to cut some of those. I'm going to do a few of these as well. And then I'm going to come back and show you how I finish them off. Oh, I have really enjoyed doing this. It was lovely. I decided I would go for lots of different sizes. So they've all got stuff on the back as well. I've put the holes in and I've done some corners. That one I haven't. I might just leave that as it is. And then I started to decorate them. So this was one that I had done earlier. I'd found some little tiles with letters on, so I thought that might be fun. And then I got very excited because I found these, and these are a load of buttons that my great aunt gave me, and I just love them. So I thought I'm going to put some buttons on the cards. So I just stuck. So you could use a hot glue gun, you could use double-sided tape. And then with my owl, I thought that button looked a little bit like the moon. And this is the joy, isn't it, of making your own little tags. So I'm going to think about what buttons I want to put. I might put some little bits of fabric on. At the moment, I'm just using bits of string, but now I'm thinking with the buttons, I could add some other bits of fabric as well. So I'm just going to lay these out, have a little bit of a play. And then these are going to, some of them are going to be hung on my tree. And I think some might just be hung on the mantelpiece. And some will be used as gift tags. And I might put little sayings on them. And yeah, I think that would be quite fun. I'd love to know what you think and what you'll do, and whether you're going to go for a neutral thing or whether you're going to take out the neon pink and do that as well. Let me know in the comments. And if you've got this far and you haven't liked or subscribed yet, and you think, actually, I'm quite liking this, that would be so nice. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, and that you've got ideas and little tags, little tag ideas that you're going to make. And obviously it's a technique that you can use for all sorts of other things as well. So, and if you want to watch some more, then I suggest you look at this one. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.